Hey everybody, Chrissy here today, and I'm going to show you how to make this card. I am using a combination of stamps from both Kindred Stamps and Beth Duff Designs. We are doing a little collaboration, so make sure that you hop around. This is part of a blog hop for a couple days, so make sure you hop around and check it out. So I used a sentiment and image from Beth Duff, and it is the London set. So I took care of that and put that on a piece of cardstock before the video. And now I am just coloring it in. And I'm kind of speeding this up just so you don't have to sit through my entire process. But I am using alcohol markers, and I'm just coloring in this Big Ben type image using a couple different browns, some tans, keeping it pretty simple. And then I'm kind of highlighting it with some yellows, and you can see what I do is I come in with a lighter color first, and then I blend a darker or a medium color into that. Then I come back in with that light color again. You can do it a different way if you want, whichever way works for you for coloring. There is no wrong way of doing it. So now I'm going to show you how I stamp this little practically perfect girl onto the background. I'm going to make kind of like a night sky type image. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of water on there. So that is why I added some clear embossing powder on there. So I just stamped her in the black ink and then protected it because since I know I'm going to be adding some water, I didn't want any of the ink that I stamped to run. The alcohol markers should be fine, and we're actually going to cover it up. I'll show you in a little bit what we're going to do. So real quickly, again, I am just coloring in these images. Same technique as I used previously. I'm just using different colors this time. So I'm doing her little umbrella like a dark blue. Her hat and coat will be kind of matching. Adding some of the flowers in, all that. Her hair, I made a nice little brown color. And then her skin tones, I kept nice and light with a couple little shadows and such in there. So you can see I'm just going back and forth adding the touches. For her little bag, I actually went and I put kind of like just little dots on there to make it multicolored. So off camera, I stamped the all the images on some masking paper. Now, if you're not familiar with masking paper, it's like a thin sheet of paper, and then on the back is repositionable. So if you can reuse it a couple times. So like what I like to do is once I stamp and trim it out, because it is a little time consuming trimming it out, even if you have a coordinating die, because I like to get right up to the edges. Otherwise we'll have white space around it. I actually keep it after I've used it. What I'll do is I'll put it like on the back of the acrylic sheet of the stamp set. So that way I can at least use it maybe 2 or 3 times. It just kind of depends how much I use it and how much other junk is on there, like ink and stuff like that. So what this does is it basically protects my image. So what I just spent all that time stamping and coloring in, it's going to be protected from this ink. Because even though I'm putting the ink on kind of lightly, I'm just using some distress ink, it would change the look of the image. So her, skin would start looking like bluish or purple and stuff like that. So this way it's protected. And same, with the Big Ben type element there. This way it remains that nice brown color with my yellow and orange highlights and stuff. So I'm just kind of going back and forth, and I'm blending a couple different inks here. You can see as I'm doing it, I'm kind of tapping it off on a separate piece of paper. That's just so I don't come in too heavy-handed. I kind of prefer to start with my inks a little bit lighter, and then I just keep building and building and building and building. And you can see it is taking me a little bit of time. This is sped up. It is a tad bit time consuming depending on what colors you're using, but I was really happy with the finished look of it. And then you can see I added just a little bit more. I felt like it needed to be blended just a little bit more. And these it might not look completely blended right now, but when it dries, it looks really nice. And then I just peeled off that masking tape, and you can see my images look perfectly fine. I just flicked a little bit of water on there because my distressed ink is going to react with that water. Then I came in with a sparkle marker because I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle. It's like her umbrella to her little carpet bag. I put a couple flicks in there, kind of just like emulate, I guess, what would be stars in the nice night sky. So I also added a little bit on the clock face as well. So I also put a little washi tape right down there, and I just kind of trimmed it off. I probably could have folded it onto the back and everything, but instead I just trimmed it. Why not? And then really the last step was just to adhere it to a standard cardstock. So I just put a bunch of foam squares on there, and it's just a standard card base. The 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is a top folding card. So you can see this is the finished card. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you have enjoyed this collaboration, and I will see you out in Blockland. Have a great day.